everybody, it's Coach Jamie. So welcome to my home. I am going to meal prep for you. I have got 3 recipes from the Clean Kitchen Cookbook and then also one from the website using some J Olive products, which everybody knows that I love using J Olive pretty much every single day. But yeah, so this is going to be a really casual type of demo. If you want to ask questions about what I'm cooking, I may not use measurements because that's not necessarily, I usually eyeball pretty much everything. But you may also hear some background noise because, like I said, I'm in my home and I've got my niece, nephew, and Bishop running around. And behind the camera is this amazing fort that they keep rearranging. But I'm not going to promise that things aren't going to get interrupted with an occasional dog barking and kids running through, which is totally cool because that's real life. But so what we're going to do is I'm going to show you kind of how I do a meal prep. And this is something that we teach our clients in the Clean Kitchen 12-week challenge. The next one's coming up really soon. We've got it starting on August the 23rd. So they are going nuts behind the camera here. It's like cracking me up. But it starts August the 23rd, and I just want to remind everybody that you have until this Sunday to register with a $50 off deal. That's already applied at the checkout at registration, but that does end on Sunday. So if you are on the fence about signing up, this is your chance. So let's get to the demo and what I'm going to be cooking. First, I want to talk about kind of how I think about a meal prep, like whenever I'm going to actually, cook something. And this is something that we do teach our clients to do in the challenge itself. It's because we want to have a system or a strategy so things don't take so long. But one of the things that I think about is I usually cook in 2s or 3s. Like I'll pick a recipe that I'm probably going to eat for dinner that night, and then something that I'm going to have for a couple of recipes that I'm going to have for the next days after as leftovers. So when I usually think about that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to have a main meal. So that main meal for today is going to be the Harissa espresso meatballs, barbecue sauce meatballs with some potatoes and green beans. And then the other 2 that I'm going to make is a one-pot wonder, which is something that I like to do for leftovers because usually one-pot meals are like casseroles are always better the next day. So that's one type of recipe that I like to cook in a meal prep. So I know that I'm going to have that one-pot wonder that's going to fill all my CK habits. I'm going to have a plant, I'm going to have my protein, I'm going to have some healthy fats and all the things. Is going to be the chicken spaghetti. Now, the chicken spaghetti is in the cookbook. It is going to be, the one in the cookbook does have dairy in it. I don't eat a lot of dairy, so I'm going to make a dairy-free version of that and kind of do my play on that recipe. And then the third thing I always have, always, is a bowl meal. Because I don't like to have leftover veggies. I usually like to cook my proteins and then have something where I can throw raw veggies in the mix. Now, whether it looks like a salad or if it's some kind of bowl mixture of things, it's whatever. It's just something that's really easy to throw together and I don't have to cook those veggies. So those are 3 things that I do. The meal of the night, the one-pot wonder meal, leftovers, and then a bowl meal. And so that's going to be tonight is the chicken spaghetti, the Harissa espresso meatballs, and then we're going to do the turkey gyro salad, which basically we're going to do the turkey gyro meat in the skillet, and then we'll assemble the salad, and I'll show you what it looks like. So first, to start off, I'm going to get the potatoes going in the oven. I've already got it preheating right now. I'm going to get a pan and some and get it ready to go in the oven. Now you could use a lot of times I'm cooking sweet potatoes, but today since we're doing barbecue, now that sweet potatoes don't go well with barbecue. But I decided I was gonna do some yellow potatoes, some little mini ones that are actually going to cook very quickly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna half some of these up, pick them through, make sure they're good, no crazy spots on them, and we'll get them going in the pan, in the oven really fast. Roasting veggies is something that I start first in the meal prep. So any kind of oven use that I know that I'm just gonna like plop and throw in, that's what I usually get started first. Another strategy that we use with meal prepping, and you'll notice in the Clean Kitchen Cookbook, hey guys, y'all, I can't concentrate. Y'all gonna have to go figure out something else out. Seriously. One of the strategies that we use, and it's also in the Clean Kitchen Cookbook, is that we try to meal prep using different cooking techniques. So you'll notice in the cookbook, everything's split up into oven bake, stovetop, and then crock pot. Because you can get the longer things going, set it and forget it, it's a crock pot, get all the different stations going at one time and not necessarily have to wait on any one thing to finish cooking, but you're still knocking it out. We've done several videos that we have on our YouTube channel that is kind of a test of like how fast can you meal prep. And a lot of the meal preps, they're usually, all of them are under 30 minutes that we've done in the past. I've got some crazy spots. But there's several of them that we've done, cooked 3 recipes, or maybe even 4, in under 20 minutes. Or like got everything going before it was, when the clock stopped. And you didn't have to do anything with it. All right, so I'm just gonna spray this. And I'm actually, once I get these all on the tray, I'm gonna spray those and season them up. Nothing complicated, just spritz and season. I like to use the cooking spray because it'll control how much oil you're using, as opposed to like dumping a whole bunch of oil in a all over it. You'll use a little bit less, but still get the same effect that you need to get it kind of crispy and caramelized. All right, so I'm liberally salting these things. I love a good salty potato. I'm also seasoning it with this onion salt. It's not really that salty. It's really just a blend of dried onion, dried garlic, sea salt, and chives. And I use it on all kinds of veggies. I use it on my my omelet in the morning too, and I get it at Sam's. All right, those are done. So if you didn't want potatoes, you could certainly put in some like roasted broccoli, even roast some green beans, some okra, but I'm gonna go ahead and put those in. Those are gonna go, until they're fork tender. And then I'm also gonna be able to probably remove them maybe by the time that I need to put my chicken spaghetti in. Okay, so next we're gonna get going is the stove stuff. So I got some of the oven things going. Let's get our turkey for the Euro turkey recipe. Let me get a knife. All right. This is also one that I'm gonna cook in one pot. So first I'm gonna start browning the meat. After the meat gets a little cooked, I'm gonna add the chopped veggies to it. So I'm gonna turn my my stove on about medium heat. I'm gonna spray the pan. Actually, I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna use the big guy. I'm gonna use my big Rachel Ray. This is my favorite pot. It's the Rachel Ray 5-quart oval. So I spray it with some cooking spray, and then we're gonna let the meat start going. Next, I'm gonna chop the veggies for the Euro turkey salad. That's all gonna go in the same pot. and then I'm gonna start chopping the veggies that's gonna go for the chicken spaghetti. All right, so for the gyro, we've got, I'm gonna use 2 bell peppers and a whole onion. Lucky you, I get to show you how I cut an onion. But the recipe calls for 1 bell pepper. I think you can use as much plants as you want. It's kind of like a thing with me, and especially with our plant habit of the Clean Kitchen Challenge. Our goal is to try to get clients to eat a plant in every meal. So this one kind of hits all of the habits of the protein and the plant habit. So my thing is if you want to add more, go for it. More the merrier. I'm using a red one, and then I'm also going to use a green one. But even though I'm cooking this, this could be eaten on its own. It's kind of like the same as the Kung Pao chicken. You can use it Kung Pao turkey as well, because it has, you know, the plants and the meat all together. But I do like putting this one and even the Kung Pao on and making a bowl meal out of it with some extra greens. Like for this one, for example, we're gonna make the salad. We're gonna also gonna make some what's it called? Oh, some yogurt, lemon dill yogurt sauce. I'm actually gonna use some almond milk yogurt. But if you're not dairy sensitive and you want to use regular Greek yogurt, go for it. All right, those are sliced. Now you can chop those up however fine you want. Let's see how our meat's doing. I don't mind big chunks of veggies, so I just, faster is big chunks. All right, I'm gonna break this up. And then I'm gonna add the veggies to it. It's gonna be nice for the veggies are gonna soften with the juices of the meat, so I'm not going to be draining this. Alright, let's let that go. Alright, next we're gonna chop an onion. This is a skill that we learn in the Clean Kitchen Challenge. You actually get a how-to video for it, among other things that we teach. We think being efficient in the kitchen is a necessary skill you need to learn because nobody likes to spend hours in the kitchen. So to learn how to chop an onion quickly, pay attention. Alright, so you're going to start with the end that's not the root end here, okay? Not the one that has all the little hairs that come out the top. You want to chop a flat end on that one. So chop the end off, done. You'll use that flat side to stabilize the onion as you chop it in half down the root side. And now you're going to have the two sides. Peel off that outer skin. Now, hopefully I don't cry. You may notice that some onions are just more potent than others. If anybody's got an answer for that, I'd love to know. Because sometimes they make my eyeballs water and then sometimes they don't. Another tip for fast meal prep, like one of the things is like you always feel like you mess up so many dishes and like have too much to clean up. Start your meal prep with an empty dishwasher. So then you can just load as you go. All right, sorry, I almost started doing this before I even told y'all what I was doing. Okay, so for the onion, we're gonna follow the ridges of the onion. That's gonna be our guide, the little rainbows, okay? What our goal is not to detach the slithers from the root. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your knife, put the middle of it, right, resting in the middle of the onion, and then you're gonna press and pull towards your body. So press and pull at this like diagonal where you don't separate the slithers from the root. So I see I already cut one and I'm leaving it attached. So using the lines, you go around the onion in a rainbow. You're gonna press and pull down to the board. Press and pull all the way around in a little rainbow motion. Sometimes on the ends they do separate and you can just hold it together with your fingers. But anyway, so now you've got this nice little onion that's still attached and it's got the slithers. Here. Now you're going to turn it perpendicular to your knife and you're going to slice. Hold the onion as you go down, then it's a nice little dice of onion. Voila, done. Fabulous. Now, for this particular dish, slices would be just fine. And that's what I'm going to do for the next one, but I just want to show y'all that little trick. Okay. So now we're going to slice. I'm going to leave these as slices and I'm not going to dice them. One slice from the root, done. Get those going. Okay, so while this all cooks down, we're going to start chopping the veggies for the gosh, I can't even talk. Chicken spaghetti. All right. So this is one that you could actually use frozen veggies for, like in the recipe. I mean, really, you can just put any vegetable that you want. I'm using a bell pepper, I'm going to use an onion, and I'm also going to use some mushrooms. I'm adding the mushrooms because you could use, like, typically chicken spaghetti has like cream of mushroom in it, but I'm not using that. I just want to get the mushroom flavor when I'm going to use almond milk cream cheese in it instead of Greek yogurt or any like cream of mushroom soup. So I'm just going to cook all my veggies down first in a skillet, and then I'm going to mix it all together. So this one's going to be a dice. I'm going to dice up the bell pepper. And like I said, you could use frozen veggies for this. You can buy chopped, diced green bell peppers, or even the seasonal blend that's just got bell peppers, onion, and celery. That would actually be really good in it too. I'm just going to do a rough chop though. You may want a finer dice if you have a problem with texture, like my husband does, but sometimes whenever I cook things, I do it on purpose where I actually make them more chunky with veggies so he won't eat them. Alright, so I'm going to add these veggies to the other pan. We're going to cook those down. Let's get some olive oil in there. I'm going to use the J Olive Butter olive oil in this one. I'm just going to do a little drizzle. I like using the butter olive oil, well, because it tastes like butter and everything tastes better with butter. But I want to get some of those healthy fats in with using the olive oil. So I've got some pre-chopped mushrooms. I'm just going to go ahead and do a little quick dice of those to get them a little bit smaller. Nothing too fancy. One thing I do love, I find very therapeutic, is slicing mushrooms. It's a weird thing. I know a lot of people that don't like mushrooms, but they may like the flavor. So you may want to like seriously mince them. Who says you can't put these suckers in a food processor and blend them all up so they're not like chunky little guys? But for me, I don't mind. Alright, let's put all these together. Alright, turn it on. I put it on medium heat. See how our meat's doing over here. Like I said, don't worry about the not being cooked all the way before you add your veggies. I mean, it's all gonna get cooked anyways, and the juices can help soften the veggies as opposed to cooking it in 2 different pans, and you're not messing up another pan. All right, so I'm gonna do another onion chop. This time I won't go through the whole thing, but in case you missed it, there is a secret, super special way to chop an onion really fine and really fast. So again, chopped off the end that's not the root. Gonna do my slices, rainbow around the onion. If I can go this way so you can kind of see what I'm doing. The kids are having a serious time with trying to outsmart Odin the pug. Y'all need to come show them your outfits. Okay, yeah. Zombie.
We're playing burglars.
Okay, zombie burglars.
No, not zombie burglars. How about the zombie apocalypse? No, it's a zombie. No, it's not. It's playing. We're
Okay.
burglars and the
I get
bad
it.
guy goes,
Sorry, I
"Stop
bet
it."
y'all can't hear Bishop right now, but he's trying to explain his game.
So,
Wait, no, don't touch it. Don't touch it. No, we're good.
so we're burglars, and there's good guys trying to stop us.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right, 1 whole onion in the pan with the for the chicken spaghetti veggies.
Now, speaking of good, I don't know
I just realized I forgot to put my shoes on. I guess y'all can't see that. That's awesome. Alright, so the veggies just need to cook down a little bit more. It looks like the turkey meat is pretty much cooked. Totally fine. We got some good juices in there, so I don't think it's going to dry out. Turn this down. Now I've gotten the veggies for the chicken spaghetti going. Turn these down a little bit more. And I'm just going to let them do their thing. Oh my god! Stop it! Get that out of here. Come on. Stop. Alright. You're good. Okay, stop. Go. Go.
Okay.
I told y'all it was going to be a little bit real life. Alright, so let's move on to the meatballs, alright? And so we've already got the potatoes in there. We've got the Euro meat going. We've got veggies going for the spaghetti, chicken spaghetti. Actually, I think we could probably just season up. Actually, that's what we'll do. We'll just go ahead and season up what the Euro meat is going to have in it and just let that all kind of cook together. And then that one's pretty much done. Alright, so for the Euro meat, we're going to need some garlic, we're going to need some salt, oregano, lemon, I think that's it, black pepper, oh, and beef bouillon. So we're kind of making a Mediterranean Euro flavor. Alright, so let's go. Oregano, black pepper. Alright, we've got oregano, garlic, black pepper, salt, and then lemon. Alright, so, like I said, I'm going to eyeball this. I just do probably about half a teaspoon of garlic powder in there. Then we're going to do maybe about a teaspoon of oregano. That's good. And then some dash of black pepper. And then we're going to do a little bit of salt. Not a lot, because we're going to use some beef bouillon, and that's going to have some salt in it as well. So just a little bit of salt. And you know, another thing is that you can always go ahead and salt these too. Help some of the water come out of those veggies faster. You can always salt later, but there's nothing bouillon that I use the Better Than Bouillon paste. I use this in a lot of stuff. Like I'm going to do some green beans for the meatball meal, and that's one of the things that I use in the green beans. So we're going to use about a teaspoon of the bouillon in there. We may need to add a little bit of water to it. Maybe not. Alright. Oh, if anybody was wondering what this smasher this is a meat smasher, and it's like one of my favorite tools in the kitchen. You can get these pretty much anywhere. I think Meredith got me this for my birthday from Walmart. It's a good purchase. Use it all the time. Another one of my favorite purchases are these Rachel Ray Lazy Spoons. They're awesome. They like sit on the end of your pot. They're awesome. Hey, y'all, cool it. I'm gonna add a little bit of water to this pan, and then it's pretty much gonna be done after the. Oh yeah, I gotta add some lemon juice to it too. Help break up that bouillon. So now let's add the lemon juice, and the gyro meat is done. And that is going to be used for my bowl meal, which I'll show you how to assemble that after we're done making all the other stuff. So I'm just holding my hand over it to catch all the seeds. But I'm going to use the juice of 1 lemon, or you could do about a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons or so. Really just brightens everything up. Alright. Alright, that is done. So now my bowl meal that is good cold or hot, I've eaten this cold or hot, is ready to go. And that can be lunch for probably about 4 or 5 meals. Alright, the veggies are going for the chicken spaghetti. Now while that goes, we're gonna get the meatballs ready. Alright, so starting with 2 pounds of meat. Let me get a bowl. Move this over. Alright, I'm using 2 pounds of meat. I'm using turkey meat. Now, if you wanted to use sirloin, you certainly could. You could do a mixture, like pork and whatever, make any kind of sausage or meatball mixture you want. I'm using ground turkey just because it's a little bit leaner than beef, even leaner than sirloin. Okay. Alright. Now, to this, I'm going to add 1 egg. You could also add some rolled oats if you needed something to like soak up some of the mixture. I'm going to add a little bit of salsa to it as well. Where's my salsa? The salsa is actually going to go in our barbecue sauce that we make a little bit later. So it's maybe about a couple of tablespoons of that. I'm going to use about a teaspoon of salt in here. Then, where is my paprika? Let's check on these guys. Veggies are doing good. Alright. Turning the turkey gyro off. He's done. Alright. Smoked paprika. This is the thing that really helps flavor it really well. And it's what I use in the barbecue sauce that we're going to use later, making the espresso barbecue sauce. So I use about a half a teaspoon in the meat mixture, a little bit of garlic, and then we're going to mix. Put a little bit more. Why not? I mean, the real star of the show is the barbecue sauce that we're going to make later, so even if you don't have all the things, just make a turkey meatball and then make the barbecue sauce. That's what really matters. Alright, I'm going to take my keys off, my rings off. Go ahead and spray this. Guys, what are y'all doing? You're killing me. Okay.
He won't stop laughing, so he does laugh.
Okay. Okay.
Can one laugh?
You can laugh. Alright, I'm just getting this all mixed up, and then I'm going to roll them into little balls. This is one of my favorite recipes, probably because I love a sauce. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love using the J Olive stuff, is because I can just make a sauce. I can make any kind of sauce that I really want out of any of those balsamics and olive oils. Now, if your meat mixture is kind of loose and feels like it's got a little bit too much liquid in it, you could certainly put some rolled oats in here to kind of soak up some of that. Let's check on this. Turn that down. Those are getting good. Alright, I'm going to turn those down to low. And then after I get these rolled up, we're going to put them in the oven and mix up the chicken spaghetti. So a couple of things that, hey guys, y'all, quit. Stop, no. No. Bad idea. No, quit. They've got all kinds of weapons and things. Alright, so one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about while I'm rolling these is 3 things that I find that people kind of struggle with whenever they're first trying to, change their eating habits or whatever. Number 1 thing is they try to do too much all at once. So they try to make the perfect meal plan down to the every last detail, choose usually too complicated recipes, and they do it for probably about a week or 2, and then they burn out. Then the second thing that people usually forget to do is think of like their backup choices. So backup choices meaning like, what is your kind of emergency meal whenever you don't have anything cooked, like what do you go to? My go-to is obviously, if you follow any of our social media, is breakfast. And I can eat my omelet. I usually have those ingredients, or they're a really quick trip to the store if I needed to get. But I will fall back on that, multiple times. Or just in general, like plants and proteins that are like grab and go, like boiled eggs. Like you can get those boiled eggs that that are prepackaged, like at Sam's and stuff. I'll use those. We on our stories and on IG and Facebook, we'll tend to share some of those snack ideas. So make sure that you follow us for that. But then the other thing, and this is a big part of the actual challenge, the Clean Kitchen 12-week challenge that starts on August the 23rd, is that we really try to coach our clients on, number 1, how to simplify all the extra things that they seem to think that they need to do, but we kind of try to take the crazy out of the whole, process. But then we also try to help them make their environment safe. And let me wash my hands, and I'm going to reiterate and kind of, go into more detail about that. 1 second. spaghetti are done.
Wait, can we eat them? No.
After I'm done, you can.
Wait, can we?
And now, before I talk about the environment and how we change that in the Clean Kitchen Challenge, I'm gonna put the meatballs in the oven. Now, depending on the size of your meatballs, that'll probably decide what your cooking time is. Typically about 20 to 30 minutes at 375. I'm actually putting mine in at 350. I may bump it up because all the stuff can cook at 375, it doesn't matter. But I'm just gonna wait till like the juices run clear, and I'll probably cut one of them open to make sure that the inside's pre-cooked. But typically these do cook good, pretty fast in the oven. Now you can put these in the crock pot. The crock pot will obviously take a little longer, but if it's something like you want to, set the crock pot to a timer for a couple of hours and then they'll be done. Usually in the crock pot, I'll pour the barbecue sauce on top of it. I even pour the barbecue sauce on top of it in the oven, but the kids don't like the barbecue sauce. So I tend to just make these plain, and I don't put the sauce on top. I'm cooking them in the oven, and then I'll just pour the sauce on for whoever wants it. So these are gonna go in for about 20 to 30 minutes. Okay. So now everything's assembled, but what I was gonna say about environment is your environment plays a huge role in how successful you are with your different changes, because like everybody knows, life kind of throws you some curveballs, like how we're doing right now with COVID-19. And you need to have a safe place where you're not tempted to, go over the edge. If you truly want to, try to change your habits and stuff like that. In the beginning, change is really hard, but it can become easy, especially if you start off with simple stuff. And that's kind of like how we coach in the Clean Kitchen Challenge, where we try to simplify the steps that you need to do. You don't need to be super crazy. You just need to start with something simple and build from there. And one of those things is using simple recipes. So like with the Clean Kitchen Cookbook, that's kind of like our MO, is using really simple recipes. If you've noticed, all the recipes that we do post are ones that have ingredients that you can cook or you can get at any grocery store, any local grocery store. They're not necessarily specialty ingredients. A few of them might be, like the almond milk cream cheese that I'm going to use in the chicken spaghetti, but really, majority of the time you can sub out whatever you have available. And that's the great thing about cooking like this, is that there's no hard rules. Like you can literally make as long as the ingredients are good, which is something that if you're not super familiar with how to use ingredients, that's something that we teach in the challenge. But if the ingredients are in line with whole foods, then you're in the clear. So for the chicken spaghetti, I went ahead and I roasted a spaghetti squash. I roasted it for about 45 minutes on 375. I actually roasted it at the same time that I roasted my chicken. Now you can do this as a couple of ways. Some people like to boil their spaghetti squash, and I've done that before, especially if I haven't had time to roast it. You could use it in the pressure cooker, like an Instapot. You could do a crock pot. It just depends on where you're at, what time you have to do these things. So I was going to roast some chicken breast, bone-in chicken breast, and so I just went ahead and roasted the spaghetti at the same time that I was cooking the chicken. Now, I like roasting better than boiling, simply because I put a little bit of water on the pan, so it helps soften it up while it's roasting, but it's not completely submerged and the noodles don't get really soggy. So if you're one that has cooked your spaghetti squash in the pot, boiled it in the pot, then and you felt like you overcooked it and it got too soggy, that's why. But roasting, it just makes it more tasty and yummy and awesome. And all I did was spritzed it with some cooking spray and salted it, and then put it face down on the pan, and then roasted it until I could pierce it with a knife. All right, now as for the chicken, you can use crock pot chicken. You can use a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store picked up. You just want about 2 pounds of meat, okay? And so I always do this. Now I'm always roasting a bone-in split chicken breast. I probably need my cutting board for this, but that's just because I love having that, like, it, for some reason it just makes it more juicy, and then the chicken breast doesn't dry out as quickly, especially when you're cooking it in the oven. So I tend to like doing the bone-in chicken breast, and a lot of times it's way cheaper than just getting chicken breast that's not on the bone. I'm going to use probably about 2 of these in my spaghetti squash. And I season my chicken breast like I do the it's the CK recipe for the baked drumsticks or chicken thighs. It's just a seasoning of salt, garlic powder, onion powder, and chili powder. It's kind of like the holy trinity, or quadruple quad. I don't know. That's 4 things. But I tend to use garlic powder, onion powder, and salt on just about anything. And I really, I'm not using that. I really do use chili powder on a lot of stuff too. That's another point I'll make about the challenge. One of the things that we really try to hone in is build your spice cabinet. That's a way to just add so much diversity to your meals without having to buy a ton of crazy ingredients that you're never going to use. How many of you have, gone on Pinterest and pinned like all these, recipes that you say that you're going to make, has a mile-long ingredients list that you have to go to a specialty store to get, and then you just end up getting too overwhelmed and not doing it. That goes back to that one of those 3 points where people get, I see issues with people when they start trying to like change what their eating habits are, is that they just start too complicated. They think that healthy eating has to be this complicated matter, when it's really just pick your plant, pick your proteins, throw some good seasonings together, have some good fats in there, and plants include carbs. It's another thing. We can talk about that later. We have a whole week devoted to carbs and why they're good for you in the Clean Kitchen Challenge. But really, it's just it's figuring out what flavors you like, how to make those with the seasonings that you have. And, if you have a well-stocked spice cabinet, you can make just about anything. All you'd have to go to the grocery store is for the fresh produce and meat. Alrighty. This is almost done. Get this shredded chunks of meat. Alright. So whenever I do season this, I'm not going to go too heavily seasoning on it because my chicken's already been seasoned. My spaghetti squash was seasoned just a little bit. So I'm going to try to not go as salty, okay? Again, remember what I said. You can always salt later. I did want to show you guys this little trick that I use all the time. Okay, so you'll notice this little bag is an oven bag or a crock pot liner. The box says that you're not supposed to do this, but I did find this out that as long as you don't go over 375 degrees in the oven, the bag doesn't melt. But it's an amazing, satisfying thing to do when you can just go, voila, and it's clean. I mean, I'm gonna wash it, but I don't have to scrub it, and that's an amazing thing. Ta-da! Alright, save that chicken for another meal. Maybe I can make a little bit of chicken salad with it. Alright, so now I'm adding the veggies that I cooked. This is the bell pepper, onion, and mushroom, and just a little bit of salt. If you have some garlic, that would be delicious as well. It got nice and caramelized. You see that brown stuff? That brown stuff means yum. Okay. Alright, next to this bowl, I'm gonna add a can of drained Rotel. Now, if you don't like Rotel style chicken spaghetti, don't use it. Just omit it. I've made this without Rotel and just used the veggies, and it is fine. Alright, let's drain it. Move my rag out of the way. Alright. Ta-da! And now all I'm going to add to this is probably a little bit of garlic powder. I did use some in the chicken. I didn't use any in the veggies. A little bit of garlic powder, and then we're going to add the almond milk cream cheese, which I'm using in place of the Greek yogurt. Alright, so the Greek yogurt, or not the Greek yogurt, I'm sorry, the cream cheese. Now this is, let me show y'all, the Kite Hill cream cheese, almond milk cream cheese. I use this quite a bit. Like, I'll even use this in my taco salads in place of the sour cream, and it kind of tastes like an enchilada. I'm going to use the whole thing in here. This is a big little guy. Little pan. Alright. Now we mix. Growing up, chicken spaghetti was like my favorite meal. We didn't do the tomato-based kind. It was basically just cheese, cream, heavy whipping cream, more cheese, some butter, and of course pasta and chicken. But every birthday, that's what I wanted. Like, I am a cheese girl. And then when I got older, or as I got older, it got kind of sad because I became a little lactose sensitive. I used to joke that I wish that I was allergic to cheese, so I wouldn't be tempted to eat it all the time. And then lo and behold, got my wish. This one probably would have been good with a smaller spaghetti squash. Kind of made a big one. Ooh, my arm is getting tired. Alright, guys. And then next, I'm going to put it in a baking pan, and then we're going to top it with a little bit of Parmesan cheese and put it in the oven. Okay. Let's get this guy going. Alright. Everybody in the pan together. Come out. Oh my gosh, this smells so good. If you hear something coughing, I'm sorry, that's my old dog, Sammy. He may be in the shot. No, he's not. Okay, now this is my one pot wonder where this stuff gets even better left over. And like I said, the three things that I think about whenever I am meal prepping is doing a one pot wonder where it meets all the habits all in one and it's good left over. and I can just cut a slice and go. And then the other ones were a bowl meal and then that meal of the night, which you would eat the night of. So my Euro meat, and this one is not necessarily for the night that I'm cooking it. It's for the next days. Look at all that Parmesan cheese. All right, so I'm gonna put a little bit of Parmesan cheese on top. You can use, I think in the recipe in the cookbook, it says that, use any kind of cheese you want. I tend to like to use stronger cheeses, like harder cheeses like Parmesan, just because it gives you that pack of punch and that flavor, but you don't have to use a ton of it. Alright, so that's my take on the chicken spaghetti. And now I'm just going to pop this in the oven with everything else. Actually, I think it's probably ready. I can take those potatoes out. Probably done to make room for the chicken spaghetti. Alright. Alright, so those are tender. Yeah, we're good. And if you have really big potatoes and you want to dice them up even more, they'll cook faster that way. So now let's make the barbecue sauce for the meatballs. And I'm actually gonna turn up this guy. 375 start timer. Let's go 20 minutes. Oops, 20 minutes. There we go. Okay. Pan. Next one. So let's mix a little bit. Alright, so for the barbecue sauce, this is a really, really simple sauce. Sometimes I don't even heat it up. I just mix all the ingredients together and I pour it over something. So what we're using is my all-time favorite combination of J Olive. The recipe is called the Harissa Espresso Meatballs and Barbecue Sauce. We're using balsamic espresso, or espresso balsamic with, I've used in the past Harissa, but today I'm actually going to use Chipotle, which is a little bit milder heat than the Harissa, but both give you that smoky pepper that you want in the sauce. So we're going to use about, I think it's about a third of a cup. Alright, the barbecue sauce. I use the espresso balsamic daily. Literally daily. I'm not joking. I use it in the morning for my breakfast, asparagus, which I know probably all of y'all are tired of hearing about. Alright, that's about a third of a cup. Sammy, are you gonna be okay? That's my dog. My old dog. Then we're gonna use about a half a cup of salsa. And another thing you can do is you may want to make double if you have the jug of espresso, because this stuff can go on just about anything. We put it on burgers, you can put it on the potatoes. Okay, so half a cup of the salsa, then we're going to add a little bit of the smoked paprika. That's going to give it kind of the barbecue smoky flavor. So about a half a teaspoon, I guess I'm going to do right there. And then we're going to do a little bit of salt, about half a teaspoon of salt. And then, the Harissa, or the Chipotle olive oil or the Harissa, either or. I'm going to do about a tablespoon or so of that. Right. And then we're going to use a little bit of Dijon mustard. About 2 tablespoons or so. I mean, not 2 tablespoons, 2 teaspoons, maybe a tablespoon. Give it a little And then garlic powder. Where did my garlic? Oh, there it is. Again, probably about a half a teaspoon or so of it. Alright. And now we're gonna just stir it all together. I would whisk it, but Odin, my puppy, ate all my whisk out of my dishwasher. He actually just ate the last one this morning. So we're gonna bring that to a boil. Let the balsamic kind of reduce and caramelize, and then it's gonna be done. All right. And so while that's going, we're going to assemble the Euro salad. I'll show y'all what that looks like. And this is about done, guys. All right, so I have my cucumber. This is one of those English cucumbers. Get a few slices going. That's gonna go in my salad. I'm also gonna show y'all how to make a dill lemon. Oh, spinach. A dill lemon yogurt sauce. Shoot. Even though I said I was making meatballs for dinner, since I'm assembling this already, I may just be doing that. So, alright, I do cucumbers, spinach, with the turkey gyro meat. Yum, look at that. Give me a good handful of it. Smells awesome. Okay. I can put a little bit of feta on there. I use some reduced fat feta. Not that I think, I'm out. Not that I think regular feta is anything bad, it's just what I had. Alright, so I've got that, and then I'm actually going to top it a little bit with some pepperoncinis. That screams Euro to me, pepperoncinis. See how our sauce is doing. Doing good. Now, you notice everything's pretty much done with this demo. I'm just waiting on the chicken spaghetti and the meatballs to finish cooking, and then I'm done. Oh yeah, and I was gonna saute some green beans, but we're going kind of long, so we won't. But just know that the potatoes, green beans, and meatballs are going together. All right, next I'm going to use some almond milk unsweetened yogurt to make a lemon dill yogurt sauce. So again, it's that Kite brand, Kite Hill, and it's plant-based, completely 100% dairy-free. It's not sweet tasting. Do not get sweet tasting kind. That is a bad mistake. But I'm going to use this to make the little yogurt sauce. If you don't have a dairy problem, go for the Greek yogurt. That's fine too. Alright. I'm going to put a little bit of this in there. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit of salt. This is so fast. A little bit of salt. Some lemon juice. Usually about half of a lemon. But good if you got a big old thing of it. I'm using about a cup of yogurt with half of the lemon juice. And then the dill. And again, I just eyeball it all and whisk it together. And this is another, dill lemon sauce you can use with the CK salmon cakes too. So it kind of gives you a sauce for your, man, I sure wish I had a whisk, Odin. Gives you a little sauce for your plate. Here we go. Done. And there is my bowl meal. I'm glad I at least got to plate one of the meals that we were cooking, but I will be sure to post the other assembled meals on our stories. But I will be sure to post the other assembled meal on our stories. But that is the prep. So the now the chicken spaghetti has about 10 minutes to go. The barbecue sauce is done. The meatballs are probably going to be done by the time the chicken spaghetti is done as well. And so we are finished with everything. You know, if you have any questions, if you posted any questions under the comments, I will be sure to answer them if they haven't already been answered. And, you know, if you have any questions about the challenge coming up, that is the big thing. We really want everyone to take the time to, you know, look at the progress pictures of all of our clients, check out their testimonials, check out the reviews that we have on Facebook. How we fill the challenge up is literally by word of mouth and referrals, and the people that have come before them just, you know, give us so much love, and so we are so appreciative of that. But you know, the next challenge starts August the 23rd. This week until Sunday is the $50 discount. So if you are on the fence, go ahead and sign up. Make sure that you get that $50 discount, you know, because that's going to be the end of it by Sunday. All right, so if you have any questions, let us know. Thank you for watching my little mini meal prep. Sorry for some of the interruptions, but that's real life. So, see y'all next time.
Did you just finish?
Yes, we're finished.